Hi Kwame, welcome to your last and final assignment for this course. Very, very exciting. So I found your final summative assignment along the left-hand side of the course here. You can click on summative. It won't be hidden by the time you're watching this video, so you'll have access to it. And then you go to final summative. And here it is. So for your final culminating activity, you're going to be doing a research presentation. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is choosing a biography about a person who you think has faced adversity in his or her life. So look for someone who has experienced hardships like racism or something in their life. This person should be someone who inspires you or someone who you admire for struggling through obstacles in their life. There's a list of people on this biography list that you can use to select your person. A lot of the people on this list are famous figures, historical figures, things like that. You're not limited to this list. If there's somebody else you have in mind that you would like to use instead, just let me know. Send me an email and let me know the person you're thinking and give me just a brief reason for why you're choosing them. I'll probably do a little bit of a background to see like who the person is and just make sure it's someone that you can actually get a good amount of research on for this project, just to make sure you're not sort of short-handed when you're looking for your information. Yeah, like if you don't want to choose someone from this list and you want to choose somebody different, that's okay. Just let me know and get it approved by me first. So once you've done that and you've chosen your biography, you're going to be starting your research. And what I'm asking is that you use at least 3 websites. And you don't want to be using anything like Wikipedia. You want to be using credible websites and articles and stuff that you find online. You can use Wikipedia to get background knowledge for yourself and to kind of guide your research a little bit in terms of what direction you want to go in. But in terms of the 3 websites that you're going to actually use for references for this assignment, do not include Wikipedia in that list, okay? So when you're conducting your research, what I've done is I've created this little jot note chart that gives you an idea of talking points of things that you can look for when you're researching your person. So it should guide you to make a copy automatically. Computer's a bit slow. And then this is sort of going to help you gather important information about the person that you're doing your presentation on. And you can expand on this information as you find it, and also if you find extra information, like you can fill it in as you see fit. This is just sort of a general guideline to make sure that you are covering a lot of the important stuff. So you can use this chart and submit it when you're done your presentation, so it's kind of like a rough draft of what you've done. So the birth of this person, who their parents were, some sort of like their background, childhood information. You would write some notes about it here, and then you could put the website that you got it from in this box here, and that way you don't have to go back at the end of your presentation and try and figure out where you find all your information from. It'll help you to kind of keep everything organized as you go along, so you're not scrambling to figure out, oh, which website and article did I find that information from, when you're done and you're making your reference page. You also want to find some information on their childhood, on their educational background. Could be that this person went to school, maybe they're a tradesperson, maybe they never went to school, they dropped out after high school, but they've done other things. So anything sort of for that period in their life you want to include here. Adult and family life, about who they live with, are they married, do they have kids? Maybe you want to include information, maybe this person's really, really close with a specific person in their family, like maybe they were adopted, like anything that you think is kind of pertinent and important and relevant to this aspect of the person's life. Same with health, you know, lots of people, it could be that part of the thing that they struggled with was a health issue and you want to mention that there. It could be that they were healthy as a fox their whole life and they were lucky that way. This part where you get to the struggles, this is where you'll have the most information, right? Because you're doing your biography on somebody who you think has faced adversity. So you should list information about each major struggle separately. And if you need to add more, then you can. Like maybe this person has had quite a few struggles in their life and you want to comment on a couple of them. But you're not limited here to sort of keep everything in a tight, neat, small box. Like just feel free to write information in here and expand and add a third struggle if you need to as well. So in terms of facing adversity, this is where you talk about the different issues that they had in their life as well. How did they fight back? How did they overcome these obstacles? And what did they achieve in the end? So sort of like a well-rounded approach to kind of looking at, okay, these are the things that they struggled with, this is how they got through those things, and this is in the end where they ended up, okay? So that's sort of to guide your research and to help you keep your points organized and to make sure you have enough research and enough information, you've done your due diligence in looking at this person. When you're done creating your drop note chart, you're going to create a Google slide presentation. So I made a little outline for you just to kind of help you organize this information into a presentation. But again, if I say, oh, 1 to 2 slides and you have 3 slides for that section, that's not a big deal. It's going to depend on the information that you have in your project. So I don't want you to feel limited by it. I just want you to use it to help you if you find that it's something that's going to help you, okay? So you should have images in your presentation as well, and they should be directly connected to your content. So for example, an image of a person climbing a mountain and reaching the top could be symbolic of that person overcoming a journey or a struggle you have talked about. So don't just have just pictures of the person or just pictures of random symbols that don't connect to the slide that you're on or the information that's being presented. You want to make sure that whatever you're selecting is purposeful and you're putting thought into it and you're doing a good job, okay? So again, you can open up this outline and it will show you, it'll just give you kind of a rough idea of what sort of content you want to include in the first couple slides, and maybe like 1 to 2 slides or so for that, and then I've given a guideline of like say 5 to 7 points. The reason why you'll see this is because when you do a presentation or a Google slide presentation, you're not going to have huge paragraphs covering the entire slide. You're going to have kind of point form notes, and then when you do your oral presentation, that's when you expand on all those parts. So you might have cue cards in front of you or a written report in front of you that you're going to be like reading as you record your screen or something like that, and that's totally fine. Or if you really, really know this person really well after doing the research and you can just kind of talk off the top of your head, that's even better. You're kind of trying to do it as if you were presenting it in front of the class, except for obviously we can't do that right now. But so 5 to 7 points on a slide, 5 to 7 points, sorry, in total for 1 to 2 slides. So you're looking at sort of like 3 to 4 bullet points a slide is probably the maximum you want to do. Depending on how long those bullet points are, there might be some variation. But you don't want your slides to be too crowded, okay? You want them to be presenting well. And just imagine you were a student in the audience and someone was presenting it to you. And if they just brought up a slide and it just had a ton of text on it and they were just reading off the slide, that wouldn't be a really good presentation, right? So you can kind of follow this guideline a little bit as well if you'd like. But again, if you branch off from this, it's not a huge deal. It's just sort of a starting point to give you an idea of where to get started. On your very last slide, I want you to reflect on your personal feelings about this person and tell me about how he or she has affected your life and how you have changed after reading their biography, okay? So that part you're not going to find in the jot notes. It's added on into this outline part because it's sort of like a personal reflection piece at the end. So just keep that in mind while you're doing your presentation. And at the very end, you're going to just have a reference page that lists like the website links of where you went and where you found your information, okay? So the last part of your presentation is going to be making an oral presentation of the slideshow. So you're not just going to create the presentation and use like text and pictures. You're actually going to present it. You're just not going to present it in person. So the couple things that you need to keep in mind while you're presenting it is to make sure you consider the tone of your voice, any background sounds. Try to find a quiet room in your house if you can, and the expression of your voice as well. And remember to be careful to include pauses wherever you need to. Speak clearly and stay calm. And keep in mind you have lots of time to complete this, so I mean, if you make a mistake and you need to start over, that's okay. Sometimes when I'm making these video lessons, I fumble way too much to be able to include it in a recording, and I start over after 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And yeah, it can be a bit frustrating sometimes, but it's well worth it in the end to have everything sound really, really good when it's done, okay? The last thing is, yeah, you can record this as many times as you like, and once you're satisfied, then you can submit your recording for marking, okay? So you don't have to just do it one time just to get it over with. If it's not well done and you think it needs work, take a break and do it again or try it again tomorrow or something. A couple of tips for your oral presentation. My suggestion is to use Screencast-O-Matic. So you go to screencast-o-matic.com. That is what I'm using right now to make this video. It's super user-friendly, super easy to use. There's lots of videos on YouTube for like how to use it. I've included a link here for a video that's actually made by Screencast-O-Matic showing you the different features and how to use their website and stuff. When you watch the video, it's about 7 minutes long. I just want you to keep in mind you don't have to get fancy with editing or anything like that. I mean, I basically go to the website, I launch the recorder, I open the screen that I'm recording, and I make my recording, and then when I'm done, I upload it to YouTube. So that is the one thing I am going to say. It's going to show you in here different ways to save your video when you're done. You can log into your YouTube account using your school account. That's what I do. And you're better off just uploading it to YouTube and providing me with the link, because if you download it as a video, it might be too big to submit to the Dropbox, and I don't want you to do all that work and then not be able to submit it. Okay? You have a rubric down here at the bottom as well that you can look over to see what you're being marked on and just make sure you understand everything. And if you have any questions, just remember you can always ask and send me emails, and good luck. Remember, this is the final task, right? So it's a big project, it's worth a good chunk of your mark, but when you're done this, you're done the course, okay? So if you have any questions, just let me know, and good luck.